أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I'd like to first of all begin by seeing how warm you are with your salawat, because it seems to be very weak. It's either the environment seems very cold, or you guys you don't really care about things. So I need to hear from you if you really care about this. So sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Ahsantum. So today, inshallah, I'm not going to try to give you a talk of such kind. I'm going to give, inshallah, a brief introduction. But more importantly, we would like to have a discussion where we can benefit from each other and see where some people might benefit from something they might hear. Others might go away and later on it sort of digests and then they will understand further. So inshallah we will try to give you a bit of introduction to the topic that we're going to talk about, inshallah. Inshallah later on the more brothers will come and sisters, then inshallah we'll start to have the discussion. But I need you to switch on with me, because Ahmed, I'm very precise with people who sit in front of me, so I know who's listening and not. So I hope inshallah you do follow what I'm talking about. We are, as Brother Muhammad said, we're going through a journey, inshallah. We've come from the UK to go through a journey, starting from Montreal to Ottawa tomorrow, and then to Toronto. And our journey has a purpose. The purpose is Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr, this person who at a very young age was a normal person like all of you guys, but then at 11 years old he published his first book, and the book was about Fadak, this land that was supposed to be for Fatima al-Zahra, but then it was taken away from her by some people. So he wrote a book about Fadak at 11 years old. And you think that someone who writes a book that has details about things that people 40, 50-year-olds won't write, tells you something about this person. So inshallah we're going through this journey is to start to talk about Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr and to tell people what Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr was. But more importantly, we want to talk about his ideas, his thinking, and try to spread his thinkings, and then we can see where we can implement his thinkings in our society here today. So today inshallah we would like to talk about something that gives us all a responsibility, something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has talked about a lot in the Quran. You might have heard about something called Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar. It might sound something really big and long and complicated, but in fact if you think about it, it is very, very easy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. And when you come and start to study this particular ayah, you see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given preference to Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar before Iman billah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what is Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar? So we all live in a society where we see a lot of corruption all around us. We live in a society where Islam isn't the first choice. Is there anything funny? Huh? Because share it with us if it is. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this opportunity. Alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this opportunity to try to see whether we can enjoin good and forbid evil. This is exactly what Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar is. What is the role of a mu'min in life? Have you ever thought about waking up in the morning saying, I'm going to go to school, or I'm going to go to university, or I'm going to go to work? What is my purpose in life? Is my purpose in life just to wake up in the morning and go to whatever I do in life, and then once it finishes I go out with my friends, play together? When there's a lecture I start laughing, talking, not really listening to, and then just continuously having fun in life? Is this what life all about? Or is there more to life than actually sitting down and thinking about this life? Why was I created? Most of you here sitting down are actually very young. You're 16, 17-year-old. This is the age where you have to start to think about what's your purpose in life. Why was I created? Was I created just to have fun? Was I created so that I can be educated and then go to university, get married, have children, and then just live, and then at the same time have fun with my friends, go out and play and things like that? Or is there more to life than just having fun? Or was I just being created to have fun? So I'm pretty sure, inshallah, some of you will go through these questions in your head. If you haven't gone through it, you will go through it. Because most of you, inshallah, have passed puberty stage. So you will start to think about the main, the important things in life. What are the most important things in life? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you guidance. So when you come and search about what are the most important things in life, you think about, if you want, you can refer back to Islam, you can refer back to the Quran. And the Quran gives you a lot of indications. Al-Quran gives you a lot of indications, a lot of clues into why you were created in the first place. Why was a mankind created in the first place? What's my purpose in life? Why am I living in this life? So when we come to Al-Quran, we see that the most important thing, yes, is Iman billah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I was created, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have created the jinn and humans so that they can worship me. So the question is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us so that we can worship Him? Or is it further more than that? Is it much deeper than that? Brothers, if you just listen just for 5-10 minutes, I want your concentration. So once we think about why has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us, we can then think about, what am I going to do in this life? What's my purpose in this life? As I said, is my purpose just to live in a very fun environment, or is there further more than my life? Or is my life just being a normal Muslim where I can pray, I can just fast, I can help some people and things like that, and that's it? My life is ended after that. Or is there more? So when we start to think about what is there in life, and especially when you come through your age, around 16, 17, a lot of the youth's age, you come to think about this issue of Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar. Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar, basically the literal meaning means you have to come out in society, and if you see something that you can change for the good, you must do it. And if you see something that is wrong, you must change it also for the good. So you must enjoin good and you forbid evil. What does that mean? That means that if I am at school, right, and if there is if the salah time comes in, and if my class has finished, and if I have lunch time now, right? I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling me. I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, time for salah is now. There is nothing more important than the time of salah. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls for you, He says the time of salah is now, then you must stop everything and you go and do the salah. Now if you do that thing, but majority of your friends who are Muslim, they don't do such a thing, this is where your role comes in. A normal person will say, let them to be, I don't care about my friends. Let them go and let them think about whatever they want to do. Let them go and have their lunch, play, and things like that. I'm going to go and pray. This is what a normal person will do. But what makes a person much more significant than the others is a person who does this amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar. This is a person where he or she will go and tell their brothers or sisters, you will tell them that no, it is the time of prayer now, so let's go and pray, rather than just being quiet and you tell all the others to go and pray, all the others to go and play and do whatever, lunchtime or whatever, whilst you go and pray. So you go out of your way. If you come and see your brothers or the sisters come and see their friends having a meal, and then the time of salah comes, you say, should we finish our meal very quickly and go and pray, or should we continue with our meal, finish it and then go somewhere else, and so on. It's not just salah, of course. If you see someone who is talking very much against Islam, which is what is our generation going through. Islam is going through a phase where a lot of people are very much against it. A lot of people don't really understand what is the most important thing about Islam, which is peace. That's why it's called Islam. It comes from peace, right? A lot of people see these extremists and they say this is the image of Islam. What is your role as a Muslim? Is your role as a Muslim, again, just to surf the internet, use Facebook, chat with your friends in Facebook, chat, use Twitter, whoever uses Twitter, right? Surf the internet, watch videos and movies and whatever, and then do nothing after that? Or is my role even further than that? Is my role, I have to actually try to think about how I can use my skill, whatever skill I have, to try to explain to people what is the true meaning of Islam. Whether you open a Facebook account of whatever, Facebook page of whatever it is, or you can try to organize an event in your college, in your university, in your school, to try to tell people about the true message of Islam, whatever it is. So, the most important thing, Ahmed, perhaps you should wander around for a few minutes, laugh a bit and come back. Because it's disrespectful, I think, I tell you this, it's very disrespectful. So if you're feeling like laughing, if you want to share it with us so we can laugh. If not, then it's disrespectful, very disrespectful. For صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. What my message here today is that Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr was a person who propagated Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr was not a normal person. If Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr did not do Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar, enjoin good and forbid evil, then he would surely be like any other maraja out there, other ulama out there, who did what they wanted to do and then they died, but not achieving much other than talking about fiqh, jurisprudence issues. How would you pray your prayer? How would you fast? What are the laws behind certain things in life? But Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr went further than that, much deeper than that. He came out in society and he said, I have to change the human being. I have to change this human being that is thinking about going against Islamic values. At the time, in the 1950s, there was a very, very strong communist movement in Iraq. A very, very strong communist movement that made a lot of people think again about Islam, because Iraq was majority Muslims, right? But when this communist movement came in and the Marxist thinking came into universities and to colleges, universities, and people start to think about, why do I believe in Allah? What is Allah? That is why I'm telling you, this is a very important question that you all have to think about. People start to think, why is there such a creator? Why do we worship a creator? Why do I have to worship a creator? Where did I come from? All these questions used to come. And then the communist movement came in and started answering these questions. They said, there isn't really a God. God doesn't exist. What you have to do is just live your life, have fun, right? Have fun, live your life, have fun, and then you die, and then there's nothing else will happen to you. And that movement was growing stronger and stronger. So what did people do there? Some people accepted that view. They said, yes, God doesn't really exist, because I haven't seen any proof that God exists. Some people started to think, maybe there is a God, maybe there isn't. Others, which were a minority, and one of them was Muhammad Baqir al-Sad. They said, no, I truly believe that there is Allah, because I have proof there is Allah. But what I have to do is not sit at home and start praying to Allah, oh Allah, please show these people the right way. No, what I have to do is get out there and try to change that movement, the communist movement. So there was this strong movement coming into universities, a communist movement. Muhammad Baqir al-Sad, as an individual, he said, I will come out in society and try to change that. That is Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. This is the core definition of enjoining good and forbidding evil. Because evil was spreading in Iraq at that time. Evil was spreading very much in Iraq at that time. Whereas Muhammad Baqir al-Sad said, I will come and I will change this. How did he do that? He came in and started establishing institutions, established a party, and he said, by this we will grow. And what methodology did he use? The methodology he used was he used small circles in between people. So he said, we establish a circle between 5 or 6 people there, 5 or 6 people in this particular district. They started very low numbers, and they started talking about Allah. And they started talking about the Quran. Started talking about what is the meaning of Islam. Why do I need to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Once they were educated themselves, they got themselves very much aware and very much knowledgeable about Islam, then they themselves went on to do Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. They themselves went out to society and they started to establish circles within themselves. So the circles started to grow. You find many circles amongst other people, which started to be very much widespread in Iraq. So the Islamic movement was started to grow as well. And Muhammad Baqir al-Sad eventually succeeded in combating communism now. Because if you see in Iraq, even at the time of Saddam, communism was dead. Because Muhammad Baqir al-Sad in the 1950s, well before the Ba'ath Party came in, then well before the Ba'ath Party came in, then Muhammad Baqir al-Sad more or less made sure that the communist movement was on its fall. How did he do it? As we said, through spreading Islamic knowledge and making sure that people understand the Quran, making sure that people understand the true meaning of Islam. Because what was widespread at that time was that people don't really understand the true meaning of Islam. They didn't have this faith in them. They didn't have this true faith in their heart that they can believe that there is one God. So if Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr did not do Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahi anil Munkar, then Iraq now would be mostly communists. And this is a fact. Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr, regardless of what people say that he did not succeed in his revolution, I say he did. He did succeed in his revolution because he combated communism. And at the end, he did spread the message of Islam. But then again, in came the Ba'ath Party, in came Saddam, and tried to combat Islam once again. So what do we learn from all this? Why are we mentioning Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr and Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar? Is what I would like to discuss a bit later on is what's my role in society? What is my role in society? As an individual human being, have I ever actually thought about who I am? What am I going to do in life? Or is it just doing things that are for the world things? We must, brothers and sisters, must always remind ourselves that what is important in life isn't, and I stress isn't, for me to sit at home, play with Xbox, check your Facebook every single moment, chat with your friends, continuously chat with your friends, and continuously chat with your friends until you reach right in the morning where you actually forget Salatul Fajr. Alaykum salam. And then you've noticed that 6-7 hours has taken off your time by just chatting with others. This is not the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us. We are in desperate need, especially in the West, to have good mu'mineen who can actually go out in society and do something. Islam does not want just from you and I to sit at home and just pray and fast and do dua and everything else. It wants us to come out in society. It wants us to think about how we can change a human being. The fundamental issue here, the fundamental thing about Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr is he wanted to change the human being. He wanted to change the human being from a person who has doubts about Islam to a person who is confident about the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I was to ask a question now, how many people here can prove the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Would we have many people? I, for one, perhaps will have certain problems doing that. I have belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but how many of us can actually sit down and explain and describe to someone their belief, their faith? If I was to tell you I'm not a believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, try to prove to me the existence of Allah. Can we do that? Think about it. You don't need to answer this question, but think about it within yourself. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we die, and death is a reality. Death is just around the corner. When we die, Al-Munkar wa Nakir, the two angels will come in your grave. And they ask you, Man Rabbuk? Who is your Allah? Who is your Lord? Who is your God? You claim that you believe in Allah. But who is your Lord? And if you do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the word Allah cannot come out of your mouth. You start to go, but you cannot say Allah, because the word Allah cannot come out of your mouth. But if you have belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the word Allah will come out very nicely. You say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is my Lord. Then they will ask you, Man Nabiyyuk? If you do not know Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, the true message of Rasul alaykum salam, the true message of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, then the word Muhammad cannot come from your mouth. It will not come out of your mouth. In addition, if he asks you, Man Imamuk? Who is your Imam? And you don't even know your Imams. You haven't even learned from your Imams. you actually practice in your daily life exactly the opposite of what your imams have taught you, then the word al-a'imma athna ashar, Imam Ali, Imam Hassan, Hussein, cannot come out of your mouth. So until we have this opportunity, brothers and sisters, and this is a message for me as well, genuinely, this is a message for me before you, until we have actually the opportunity for us to try to learn more from this, from Islam, and try to spread the message of Islam in the right way, then let's actually try to make use of that. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Like another salawat. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, when you think about how am I supposed to program my day, some people say that I have a very, very stressful day. I'm extremely busy I am. Where I wake up in the morning, either I go to work or I go to school or go to university, and then when I come back home, I have to watch TV. It's very important. It's part of my agenda on a day. I have to watch TV, spend an hour and a half, 2 hours watching TV. I have to spend some time with my friends, going out to this particular restaurant, doing that, etc. When I come back home, I don't have time to do anything else. I am extremely tired when I come back home. So therefore, I have to go to sleep, and then again, my day starts all over again, exactly the same. And when you think you're 20 years old, and you reflect back on the last 5 years of your life, or when you look, if you're 30 years old, and you reflect back 15 years of your life, you say, what have I done in this life? Yes, academically I've achieved well. Academically, I'm either a doctor, I've done a PhD, I'm a businessman, I've done this, etc., that and that and that. So I've achieved well in my life, but what have you achieved for your religion? And some people say that, why do a lot of those elderly talk to us about Islam, and we have to work for Islam and things like that? I just don't have the time for it. I tell you this, our main goal in life is so that we can get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have a problem with that, then make sure you go and research, make sure you ask yourself certain questions. So first of all, I tell you this, that every single one of us here sitting down has one main goal. We all share one main goal, which is getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like a race. You have a race, and when they start the race, the end goal is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who's going to get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala faster? Some people don't even finish the race. Some people halfway, he'll be injured and he will collapse. Other people, they're extremely slow to get to the end point. But there are some people who will run very fast towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's why it differentiates. هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون? Are the people who know and the people who do not know, are they at the same level? This is what differentiates between people who actually, when they look back in their life, look back at the last 15 years of their life, if they are 30 years old. If you are 20 years old, you look back at the last 5 years of your life, since 15, which is the pivotal point of your youth. You look back and think, what have I achieved in life? What have I achieved in the last 5-10 years? If it is only academic achievement, then it's a shame, I say. If it's just an academic achievement, then you are one of those people who I think will actually fall and not finish the race. Or if you were to finish the race, then you will take a long time to finish the race. But if you are one of those people who plan their day like what Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alihi used to plan, then that will give you further energy to speed up your pace, and you will reach to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala faster. So how did Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam plan his day? There's a hadith from an ai that says that when Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam used to come back from work, he used to split his time into three. The first thing he used to do is to spend time for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So either he used to pray, read the Quran, dua, just him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the first thing he used to do. The second thing he used to do is spend time with his family, which tells you something very important about the values of family in Islam. Islam very much respects family. That is why our parents and our generation do not seem to get rid of our the youths when they are around 18, 19-year-old. Rather they say, stay at home as much as you like, but once you get married and things like that, then you start your family, then if you like, leave home. But the Western culture, I know we have in the UK, that if you're 18-year-old, you have to get out, and they just pushes you out of the house. You must leave the house. They don't care what you do. They say, oh, because you need to get out in life and start to test to see how you struggle in life, to see if you can cope in life. But a lot of them get lost in life. A lot of them go to drugs and do alcohol and do these things if he doesn't have a strong will to do well in life. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi used to spend time with his family. And the third thing he used to do, the third part of his the time remaining, is he used to split it into two. The third part, he used to split it into two. The first of the third part, he used to spend it for himself. So what does that mean? Some people say spend it for himself now. You can go on Facebook, watch TV, do whatever you like, on the halal, of course. There has to be, of course, halal. But the other thing that he used to do is he used to give his time for other people. This is where Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar comes in. He used to spend time with other people. So what does that mean? If he knows that someone is sick, if someone is ill, he goes and visits them. He goes out and talks to people about Islam. If he knows that there is corruption in society, then he goes and tries to change the corruption from its roots. He didn't used to sit at home. And that third part, which is all for himself, he didn't choose to spend it just for himself. Rather, he chose to spend it also to help other people. Now, a question. Let's all think about this question. How many of us today, and I need you to answer this question for yourself. You don't need to say it out loud, just think about it yourself. How many of us today, sitting here, do actually care about our society and not just care about ourselves? How much do I give in to my society? That is the fundamental question here, brothers and sisters. Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr didn't just give for himself. Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr gave most of his time to society. He sacrificed himself for Islam and society. Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr sacrificed himself. What is the most valuable thing for you? It's your being, right? It's yourself. If I was to come and punch someone here, right? You will surely, this particular person will get hurt and will start to defend himself and start to attack me back. Why? Because I've actually hurt this person. This person actually cares much about himself because they have actually been in pain. Why would he fight back if he doesn't care about himself, his well-being? So the most important thing for a human is himself, right? It's his well-being. Muhammad Baqir al-Sadiq gave himself, gave his well-being to Islam. He sacrificed himself to Islam and to make a better society. That is the fundamentals of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. I am not saying here that we all should go and sacrifice ourselves. No. But the least we can do, brothers and sisters, is to get out in society and try to do something for society. Now, I'm going to talk 5 minutes, I'm going to stop. But after the 5 minutes, I really need to have, I really want to hear people talk about this topic of what's my role in society. Perhaps it's wrong. Perhaps it's wrong for me to give to society. Why should I give to society? If I have time, I should really spend it with my family mostly. Doesn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Al-aqrabuna awla bil ma'ruf? The people closer to me, so my family, are first. Why should I give my time to society? If I am a Muslim, why don't you just leave me alone? I am a Muslim. I pray, I fast, I do dua, I smile in front of people, I take care of my mother and father. I do all these basics. Why don't you leave me alone? I do not want to help in society. Why should I help in society? Let's all ask ourselves this question. And I would like us to get out from this room having an answer to this particular question. If you do not have an answer to this particular question, then perhaps we should find out why. Because either certain people will say, this particular topic I don't really care about this particular topic because it doesn't really concern me. What concerns me is my life. What concerns me is my well-being. What concerns me is my business. What concerns me is my college, my studies. Fine. If this is what you want to do, then I will tell you this and you may get out. I will tell you this and you may leave. But just hear this. That I guarantee you, you will be one of those people in that race that eventually you will reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you will probably be one of the very last people who reaches Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If that doesn't really aspire you to do it, to actually contribute to your society, then don't you think that death is just around the corner? And so if I think about my life, and if I think about what I'm doing in my life, and if I was to die tomorrow, how would I answer Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks me, did you do any amr bil ma'ruf and nahy anil munkar? Did you enjoy good and forbid evil? Because, brothers and sisters, enjoining good and forbidding evil is wajib, like how you pray, like how you do siyam, like how you do other compulsory things in Islam. Enjoining good and forbidding evil is wajib in Islam. So, you and I, it's compulsory on you and I to actually get out in society and do something about it. So if you haven't, then you haven't done something which is wajib in Islam, which is enjoining good and forbidding evil. So let's ask ourselves this question. What is my role in society? And if there is such a role in society, then how can I contribute to society? The way, I'll finish in 2 minutes, the way that I see it, the reason why I have come from all the way from the UK and we're touring around, for the people who have come late, we are on a journey. We've come from the UK to Montreal, we're going to Ottawa tomorrow, and then Toronto, because of one particular figure, one particular person called Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr. He has inspired us, he has given us the teachings for us to come out and actually talk passionately about life and what does life mean, and am I a person who will be closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not? How can I change a human being? We are here to learn from people and also at the same time to give this message of Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr, this message of Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr, who he died for his message, he gave his life for this message of change in the human being, this message of not just a human being who you sit down at home and do nothing, but rather get out in society. So what we like now is to have a discussion where we can hear from majority of people on this particular issue, and even if you have a view which is very much against all this, then we very much like to hear it, because of course there's nothing that we say is perhaps absolutely 100% right. You can come out with an argument that perhaps is very much convincing for people. So do not be afraid if you have a radical view of some kind, then please share it with us. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. To life than just having fun, or just being created to have fun. So I'm pretty sure, inshallah, some of you will go through these questions in your head. If you haven't gone through it, you will go through it, because most of you, inshallah, have passed puberty stage. So you will start to think about the main, the important things in life. What are the most important things in life? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you guidance. So when you come and search about what are the most important things in life, you think about, if you want, you can refer back to Islam, you can refer back to the Quran. And the Quran gives you a lot of indications. Al-Quran gives you a lot of indications, a lot of clues into why you were created in the first place. Why was a mankind created in the first place? What's my purpose in life? Why am I living in this life? So when we come to Al-Quran, we see that the most important thing, yes, is Iman Billah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I was created, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have created the jinn and humans so that they can worship me. So the question is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us so that we can worship Him? Or is it further more than that? Is it much deeper than that? A bit of introduction to the topic that we're going to talk about, inshallah. Inshallah, later on, the more brothers will come and sisters, then inshallah we'll start to have the discussion. But I need you to switch on with me, because Ahmed, I'm very precise with people who sit in front of me, so I know who's listening and not. So I hope, inshallah, you do follow what I'm talking about. We are, as Brother Muhammad said, we're going through a journey, inshallah. We've come from the UK to go through a journey, starting from Montreal to Ottawa tomorrow, and then to Toronto. And the journey, our journey, has a purpose. The purpose is Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr, this person who, at a very young age, was a normal person like all of you guys. But then at 11 years old, he published his first book. And the book was about Fedek, this land that was supposed to be for Fatima al-Zahra, but then it was taken away from her by some people. So he wrote a book about Fadak at 11 years old. And you think that someone who writes a book that has details about things that people 40, 50-year-olds won't write, tells you something about this person. So inshallah, we're going through this journey is to start to talk about Muhammad Baqir. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this opportunity. Alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this opportunity to try to see whether we can enjoin good and forbid evil. This is exactly what Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar is. What is the role of a mu'min in life? Have you ever thought about waking up in the morning saying, I'm going to go to school, or I'm going to go to university, or I'm going to go to work? What is my purpose in life? Is my purpose in life just to wake up in the morning and go to whatever I do in life, and then once it finishes I go out with my friends, play together? When there's a lecture I start laughing, talking, not really listening to, and then just continuously having fun in life? Is this what life all about? Or is there more to life than actually sitting down and thinking about this life? Why was I created? Most of you here sitting down are actually very young. You're 16, 17-year-old. This is the age where you have to start to think about what's your purpose in life. Why was I created? Was I created just to have fun? Was I created so that I can be educated and then go to university, get married, have children, and then just live, and then at the same time have fun with my friends, go out and play and things like that? Or is there more to? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I'd like to first of all begin by seeing how warm you are with your salawat, because it seems to be very weak. It's either the environment seems very cold, or you guys you don't really care about things. So I need to hear from you if you really care about this. So sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Ahsantum. So today, inshallah, I'm not going to try to give you a talk of such kind. I'm going to give, inshallah, a brief introduction. But more importantly, we would like to have a discussion where we can benefit from each other and see where some people might benefit from something they might hear. Others might go away, and later on it sort of digests, and then they will understand further. So inshallah, we will try to give you Rasul and to tell people what Muhammad Baqir al-Sad was, but more importantly we want to talk about his ideas, his thinking, and try to spread his thinkings, and then we can see where we can implement his thinkings in our society here today. So today, inshallah, we would like to talk about something that gives us all a responsibility, something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has talked about a lot in the Quran. You might have heard about something called Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar. It might sound something really big and long and complicated, but in fact, if you think about it, it is very, very easy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. And when you come and start to study this particular ayah, you see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has has given preference to Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar before Iman billah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what is Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar? So we all live in a society where we see a lot of corruption all around us. We live in a society where Islam isn't the first choice. Is there anything funny? Huh? Because share it with us if it is. So